Welcome back to First Take. The Browns still have a coaching vacancy after firing Kevin Stefanski. Jesse Minter, Mike McDaniel, and now Grant Udinski have all pulled their name out in Cleveland. However, it appears the Browns have 4 candidates still remaining for their head coaching position, and Nate Scheelhaase, Jim Schwartz, Todd Monken, and Anthony Lynn. But maybe there's a name on the list that should be given a little bit more consideration considering their quarterback room and his coaching experience. That person is Deion Sanders. Should he maybe be added to the list of potential coaching candidates in Cleveland?
I think it comes down to what's the reason you're saying you're bringing Deion Sanders. I think if the sole reason is you feel as though Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback, I don't believe going to get his father to now come over and coach the team is the answer to that. My thing is Shedeur was a late-round draft pick. He got his opportunity to perform last year. He proved that he deserves an opportunity this year to compete to start to be their quarterback. I don't think they're going to just hand the keys over. It's very different from college where in the NIL you go out and you get a quarterback that is going to be your guy. There's not much competition that takes place in the college football game anymore. So I think going to get a head coach that you're saying we're only going to get him specifically because we believe he's the best guy to coach this one player on our team isn't the answer. I think that was the answer in college for Colorado because of so much of what it brings and what Deion Sanders brings. You're talking about ticket sales. You're talking about jobs for the people in the city of Boulder. It put Colorado on the map. In the NFL, you don't need someone to put a team on the map. You need to find out how to win games. That's what translates. Find out on every Sunday how to score more points than your opponent. I think the NFL is moving in a way in which you have to have a head coach that gives you an advantage. One, as a play caller, or whether it's offense or it's defense, or 2, from a game management standpoint. Look at the 2 coaches in the Super Bowl right now. Mike Macdonald, from a defensive play calling standpoint, is a mastermind. Mike Vrabel, you watch him on Sunday as Drake May is running towards the sideline and he slides. He's calling the timeout before his knee even hits the ground. He's substituting guys late on defense while Sean Payton's changing personnel. Those are the advantages that head coaches give you that you need nowadays to be able to win and propel your team to a Super Bowl. So I do think the thought of Deion Sanders reuniting with his son Shedeur is an amazing story. As a father, I see that and it brings tears to my eyes and joy. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I don't know that that's the best move for the Cleveland Browns as an organization.
Here is the best way to put it. And Deion Sanders, my brother, we go back a long ways. This is the most accurate and fair way to put it.
Yeah.
I hope this happens for him. His resume doesn't warrant it. That is the reality.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because, yes, you were 27-6 in leading Jackson State to consecutive SWAC titles and a 21-12 record in 2022. Yes, you had a winning season in Shedeur Sanders last year in Colorado.
9-4, right?
9-4. You have 2 losing seasons, all right? You know, you were like 4-8 or whatever it was the first year there. You were 3-9 last season. Okay, so you've had 2 losing seasons in the 3 years that you were there. This last season, which was your worst, was without your son. When you won, it was with your son. At Jackson State, and then that, you know, those 2 years at Colorado, the 1 year that you had the 9-4 record, you won with them, okay? I believe that Deion Sanders can coach. I think the man knows football. I think he knows how to galvanize folks.
Absolutely.
We all know that he's the greatest cornerback in the history of the sport.
No doubt about it.
We know that his football IQ is top-notch, and he can go out there and compete. You give him equal talent, he can make some things happen. And obviously in the National Football League, you're going to have talent that you don't have at Colorado when you're going up against some monsters in college football. So the talent level is going to elevate. So I have no doubt that if he were an NFL coach, that I believe he would do a good job. But the question is whether or not you deserve it. And it can't always be about you coaching your son. Now, here's the other part that we'd be remiss in neglecting to bring up. If you were to get the Cleveland Browns job, is that why Shedeur Sanders had such a hard time getting an opportunity? Because coaches and people within the organization were sensing that you were the heir apparent, the Kevin Stefanskis of the world and people working under him? Because now you're going to have people having those questions. They're going to accuse him of lurking all along, which is just going to add more pressure to Shedeur Sanders, who's now been named as an alternate as a Pro Bowler. You're going to have all of these questions, all of these suspicions, all of this stuff coming up. Me personally, I have been on the record. Deion, in fairness to him, when we've spoken, he has adamantly disagreed with me. I have always said, I don't want you in Colorado. Deion in Boulder, Colorado. Don't mess with me. I wanted that brother in the SEC. I wanted him at Texas A&M. I wanted him at Florida. I wanted him in someplace like that. Or no, not the SEC with Florida State. I thought Florida State should have hired him. I wanted him someplace like that. Not at Boulder, Colorado. I'm sorry. I just don't see it.
Look what he's done there.
I'm just sorry. I mean, it's hard because, cats gonna want to come to Boulder. Really, you got some people there, but now you're seeing others transferring and stuff like that. I'm just saying, I think he could do the job in the NFL, but you can't look at his resume and say definitively, oh, he absolutely deserves this opportunity. He should get it because, again, you got to coach without your son sometimes. Let's see what happens.
I will say this. I know you mentioned, you don't need to bring eyeballs to the NFL. Of every franchise that could use a little burst in swag or a little positivity, the Browns might be it. And forget the resume really quick, but if nothing else, Deion could bring a little bit of that to Cleveland maybe and then help us.
There's one sport that doesn't need
game. We watched the Seahawks beat up on the Rams, and automatically you say, well, the Rams are a better team than New England, so they'll do the same. Sam Darnold had a terrific game. He also wasn't pressured the way New England is going to blitz and try to get after him. So I do think we're sleeping on this team for so many different reasons and trying to find ways to not give them their flowers because this is a team that won 8 games over the prior 2 seasons. And in 1 year, they've completely turned the franchise around, won the division, a division in which we all believed Buffalo was going to be a top. And we're going to be watching Josh Allen get his opportunity to play in his first Super Bowl. Instead, it's Drake May, who has his own resurgence and is up still for the MVP. So this is a team that I think shouldn't be slept on. And look at that and say 60% chance for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. And we're not even a few days after just championship weekend.
That's how it goes.
Are the Patriots being slept on? Yes, they are. But I don't agree with him, even though I sound like I do. I'm snoring.
Wow.
I'm sleeping on them big time. Wow. Y'all ain't winning the Super Bowl. Y'all ain't winning the Super Bowl. I'm telling you to your face right now as a New England Patriot. You ain't winning the Super Bowl, okay? You ain't beat Seattle.
I need to sit back.
Let me tell you something right now. The New England Patriots, listen, it was a nice run. It was really, really nice. It's going to be a competitive Super Bowl, I have no doubt, because the defense is real.
Okay.
The New England Patriots defense is real. I got big-time questions about your offense. Never mind that you had the easiest schedule since the 1999 Rams. Never mind that you went against a Los Angeles Chargers squad that didn't have a couple of offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Never mind that you went against a Houston Texans team that was anemic offensively to begin with, but then you played the game without Nico Collins, and Schultz had to go down, okay? Never mind all that. Never mind the fact that a blizzard came to y'all aid in the second half. And by the way, you didn't have to go up against Bo Nix, who broke his ankle. What is it, the second to last play of the game in overtime? I mean, what you talk about luck. Now, I will say this. The reason why you shouldn't sleep on the New England Patriots is because clearly divine intervention is shining down upon them. I mean, damn, how much luck can you get? Every single way. You got luck at the beginning of the season with your schedule. You got luck as the season went on. You got lucky in the playoffs against the Chargers, the Texans, and the Denver Broncos. But it ends now. It ends now. I'm telling you right now, I'm snoring. I'm talking about give me a pillow. Let me take a nap. I'm not worried about y'all winning this Super Bowl at all. That's right. I said it. Seattle are those dudes. I'm looking at Drake May right here. Let's look at these numbers right here. 3-0, no doubt about it. 56% completion, 178 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 6 fumbles, 3 of them lost. 5 total turnovers, sacked 5 times each game, 15 times he's been sacked over the last 3 games. Now, granted, defenses are no joke in L.A., in Houston, in Denver. I got it. Seattle right there. Who number one? I'm sorry, who number one? I mentioned all those teams. I mentioned L.A., I mentioned Houston, I mentioned Denver. Who's the number 1 defense? Say it.
Seattle.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you right now. It ends now. It ends now. I ain't trying to be a killjoy. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. I think you'll be in a position